It's
It's the best I can find.
That's pretty stylish.
It's very sad. I think the rustiest one I can find.
Yeah.
Doctor Layton.
I'd like to call this council meeting back to order after the executive session on personnel and finance. This time I'd like to request a motion to approve the minutes.
Make a motion, Mr. President.
Motion by Ken, is there a second?
I'll second. Just chase it back here.
Second by Nancy. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Mayor's report, could you please read the mayor's report, Carly?
The mayor's report for October. Under arrests, there were 11 traffic arrests, 3 non-traffic arrests for underage drinking. There were criminal complaints for 3 DUIs, 2 thefts, 1 for bad checks, and 2 drug violations. And as a note, due to the time change, shorter daylight hours, and coming of the winter months, citizens need to check their outside lighting. Routine maintenance will allow for the occasions where the need to observe noises or activities in and around the residence will be made easy. Simply by activating lights allows persons attempting to commit criminal acts to know that the property owner is aware and alert. That act may detour potential actions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Committee reports?
I'll give a brief statement on the building. There was some discussion at the last meeting about the walls and some of the integrity of the building at the current site where the building is being built. Everything's been rectified. We've had meetings with Senate Engineering, I think several, 4 or 5 this month. And we've met with the contractor. Everything's going to be taken care of at their expense. They have taken care of the wall that we discussed at the last meeting. There's some issues on different sites of the floor level, and we're going to have that as taken care of as well under their cost. So other than that, I think everything's coming up. They're going to be putting the drywall in sometime this week if it's not started already. I haven't been over there in the last couple of days. I think that we need to get together, and I will be calling some of you shortly about the 2 crew bids. I got another one back on the modification of doors. We need to discuss further on, the cameras. We have issues on some of the placements of cameras if we need that many. But, so expect a phone call, building committee. And I think, like I said, everything is going well. I think that, I'm not gonna give an estimate on the time frame of getting it done. I'm not the contractor. I would say that, if anything, they're a month or so behind. But again, they got a late start. And some of the questions they've had, I've been late getting back to them. But other than that, I think everything's going well. I think that the building's gonna look nice. The metal is ordered and should be here this week. I think as far as the sidewalk is concerned, we have to talk to them and make a decision with the Senate. It was just brought up to me on the phone the other day whether we want to do that sidewalk this year or next year, depending on the weather. So we're gonna have to discuss that first of the month and whatever.
Yeah, we really haven't had any hard freezes yet. I mean, we've had one hard freeze, but it's warmed up. It depends on when they're gonna pour it though.
Right, we haven't had any question on when they can get it together and get to do it. That's the biggest thing. They haven't had the idea when, because they're still gonna have to have electric come in and hook up. You're gonna have to have, different things done as far as, bringing the materials to it, and, we just don't wanna have to dive on it or crack it or anything. But they're, as far as I'm concerned, they're on pace. I think that they will talk to me about the sidewalk and solve some of them issues probably within a week, but, other than that, I think everything's on pace, looks good.
I have a question, and just to direct it to the building committee, possibly the chairman of the building committee. Ken, I thank you for the indulgence that you're putting forth in this building, and I think that you're fulfilling the requirements as a chairman should do. I have a suggestion, or possibly information received that, you know, our structure's gonna need it, and we should certainly have a flagpole. Something that, other than a piece of broomstick up in the yard holding a flag. I'm working on, and I'm not too sure whether the council would like to buy this or not, buy performance, no money involved, but would like to accept possibly a donation, and I'm working on this from a particular individual who wishes maybe to supply a new flagpole to put in front of the building, which would be a regulation, quality type of flagpole for the use in front of our building. Now, I can do this or I can cut it off.
Well, if it'll be a donation,
Yeah, absolutely.
now, would we still have to pay for the installation?
I don't know that. If we have to pay for the
Well,
installation.
pursue the details and bring us, back more details the next time.
Well,
And here's the thing,
You know,
it's gonna have to be illuminated 24 hours a day,
Well,
if there's no one
there's
gonna be there to
facilities,
take it,
there's facilities already in the building for that. There will
to
be.
be illuminated
Yeah,
24/7.
Yeah, the power system's there.
But the power system's there, but we'd have to take lights out to the pole.
No, it'd be it'd be shining on the pole.
Okay.
So
Yeah, bring back
that's
some
in the
details
makings
on-
if you wanna do it.
If they're gonna donate the cost of the flag pole and the flag, fine, and then we're gonna have to determine to see what, if somebody maybe donate, the time for installation and materials to install.
Well, I'd hate to cut this man off, if
Yeah,
it takes,
by all means.
if it takes construction money,
Well, okay.
I'll do
Alright.
that myself,
I
you
can
know,
give
to
you
get the flagpole in.
All right, yeah, I
This
think it's a good idea.
This isn't a cheap item.
No, I know it isn't.
No, but
Okay.
I think it's a good thing to have, and I think we should do it, we should definitely
I was,
have it.
I remember talking to a larger company in the area that's going out of business, and they have a flagpole that's out of this world.
Well,
And I was thinking of buying it myself.
I mean, we don't wanna we wanna be able to see it, we don't wanna.
Oh, you'll be able to see it.
Right, say from
Well,
Walmart.
anyway, that's in the making.
Okay, good, yeah, get the details on that and bring that back.
Right, yeah, and as far as, constructing the pole, having the men do it, there's not much to it. It's,
No.
Well, it depends on the size of the pole.
Yeah, and,
It would certainly be put in, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking.
We put our other one in.
For sure.
Matter of fact, we fabricated that pole.
Yeah, if all gets the pole, I'd be happy.
Okay, no, it's. I'm
All right,
okay.
good.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, you have are we prepared for winter?
We,
Departments?
you're talking about,
Winter maintenance?
the street department or public works? Yes, we're working in that move. And, I can tell you this, we're at the place now that, hopefully, at this time of day and this time of year, we don't have the liberty of having a standby vehicle or a plow system. As a matter of fact, we're working with two vehicles here that one vehicle's now at the place that is gonna have to become a standby vehicle. And in that sense, I'd like to talk to the finance committee soon and ascertain if we could maybe get to work on purchasing an additional truck. It's, and we could do that over a 3-year amortization, like we did the last truck, and it wouldn't disturb our financing, if you will.
We can
So,
shop liquid fuels for that.
we need this truck, ladies and gentlemen, and,
We can use
everybody
liquid
needs
fuels money.
service. Pardon me?
Yes,
We can use liquid fuels money for this.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
There's,
liquid fuel.
there's a particular percentage that, right now we're set at 80% this year. Next year it drops to 80. It starts a new year, new cycle, and it can be 15% each year for liquid fuels. The last one we bought out of the general fund, we didn't use liquid fuels.
Okay, and the liquid fuels money that we received last year, the portion that we received from the county, remember that was,
That was all earmarked for,
okay, well, now,
that's,
in future years, do we have to express concern? Do we have to turn in something to the county? Yeah,
We'll
to
get
say,
that.
hey, we're interested,
We'll
or
get
do they
that.
automatically,
we'll get a letter
Take us
on it
into
and we do it.
let's not forget that, that's, oh, through the counties.
This year,
Well, we can
no.
use that for the
Yeah.
streets and use.
We didn't
part of it.
qualify this year, so,
Okay,
because of last year.
but I don't want us to drop the ball when there's money available, you know, make sure we apply for it when needed. All right, thanks,
Well,
Bertie.
There's a number of grants out there that we should presume we don't. But anyway, the truck, I would like to let you know that we're gonna have to pursue this.
Bernie, I'm sorry I didn't bring the information with me. With Carly's help and Councilwoman Michelle, we did contact John, and he got the information to me about buying the truck out of the state liquid fuels. And we can take, X amount of
80%.
years.
Yeah, right this year,
Yeah, right.
this year.
And I got all the literature in my house, I just didn't bring it with me. It's sitting on my table.
So possibly we'll have something at the next meeting that we can pursue
Okay.
and earmark that, mark the percentage.
Yeah, just money that's coming from the state, just be a certain amount set aside.
The thing about it, and God forbid, that we don't get some of this sort of like we had in the past few years. But, our citizens deserve the services that they get, and we try to give it to them immediately, as fast as possible. And I think anybody that traverses our streets during winter, during bad weather, is very appreciative of the way they find their city streets. In years past, we've got nothing but good comments. There's been some that's been disturbed because, they wasn't possibly in the immediate procedure of plowing. But by the end of the first shift, it was completed and it was done. And, unbeknownst, we got a truck now back there that's nearing 20 years old, and it's played out.
Okay, well, let's just
I
make,
had it looked at, and first year, we're gonna put that up for bid.
okay, well, let's keep that in mind. We don't wanna be throwing good money after bad for repairs
No more.
on a vehicle.
No more. We can't. So that's so much for that.
Any other committee reports?
I just, you have a time frame in mind, Bernie, when you wanna look into that?
That's right.
Yeah.
We have to do it before the end of the year.
Cause like you said, I have all the numbers up there,
Yep.
on what we spend, on
Yep.
what the fuels that we get. So you wanna sit down and get a meeting done?
I contacted the Commonwealth. We can buy directly under the piggyback program, which we don't have to advertise anything, so we're okay.
Like I said, if you're available this week, we can get together.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call you.
Any other committee reports? Okay, the unfinished business. Patty had already brought up about the signs and stuff at the new intersection down there. That was part of unfinished business. Another thing under unfinished business, but still unfinished, I still have not been contacted by the local Department of Natural Resources person that I talked to earlier on site at the gas station about what we could do with that. So I'm still waiting for him to get back to me on that. Anybody else have anything on their unfinished business all right? Okay, we'll move to new business then.
I think that, right on the new business, there's some motions that need to be made, I wrote them down, that, I'm gonna have Carly read them off because, you know, with the new business, on the new building, some bills need to be paid. One of them needs to be revised.
You need to talk up, we can't hear you.
Start from the top.
Yeah, we're gonna start from the top on the building, building.
Okay, first is the change order from Current Waves, that was discussed earlier a little bit. To install 6 outlets and feed 2 dedicated circuits, et cetera, having to do with the wiring for 2 crew security. It'll increase the cost of their contract by $2,175. It's been reviewed by the
We'll bring it up to you.
engineer.
No,
They'll
that's
bring it
okay.
up to $50,675 total. But the amount of the change order is $2,175.
Okay, make a motion to pay that bill, just kind of wait.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous?
Second is an invoice from Senate Engineering for work performed under contract administration and construction inspection phases of their total contract. The amount's $2,636.01.
Make a motion to pay Sound Engineering.
Second.
Second by Bernie Senior, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous?
The third is the invoice from 2 Crew, security and surveillance, for the pre-wire for intrusion system, video surveillance, access control, and data/voice,
This is phase 1.
phase 1. The amount's $1,739.25.
And like I said, this amount was discussed at the last meeting, although it was higher last meeting.
Cause it included sales tax,
Okay.
the
So
quote.
this is the revised amount that we gotta pay them.
It's actually 10.
Correct, that's why this is lower.
Make a motion to pay 2 Crew.
I'll second.
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 Second by Bernie Senior. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous? Opposed? Unanimous?
Oh, there's a second.
And that was.
Okay, we have a payment request, number 1, from Central Heating and Plumbing, the HVAC contractor, for the period of July 9th through September 30th, 2013. In the amount of $23,376.96, reviewed and signed off by the engineer.
I'll make that motion to pay Central Heating and Plumbing.
Motion by Ken, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Bernie Senior, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ed opposed?
Okay, payment request number 2 from Enders Plumbing and Heating for the period of September 1st to October 31st, 2013, in the amount of $8,055 even, reviewed and approved by the engineer.
I'll make that motion to pay Andrews Plumbing and Heating.
Motion by Ken, is there a second?
I will second it.
Second by Michelle.
Andrews Plumbing and Heating is a local contract, isn't it?
Yes, in West Katina.
And as well as 2 Crew, right?
Yes.
Right.
Motion by Ken, second by Michelle, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous?
Okay, payment request number 3 from Current Waves for the period of September 25th through October 25th, 2013, in the amount of $17,869.50.
I'll make that motion to pay Current Waves.
Motion by Ken, is there a second?
I'll second that one as well.
Michelle, second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ed is opposed.
number 4 from Infinity Crane and Excavation. Work performed between September 26th and October 31st, 2013, in the amount of $11,699.97.
I will make that motion to pay Infinity Crane and Excavation.
Motion by Ken, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Bernie Senior. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ed?
Okay, we have the invoice from Force Incorporated, the contractor who was awarded the paving bid. PennDOT was in to inspect the work, and it met their specifications.
Yeah.
The amount is $23,564.93. Force Incorporated.
I'll make the motion to pay Force Incorporated Force Incorporated.
Motion by Ken, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Bernie Senior. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous?
One more thing that I'd like to make a motion on it, we had discussed, and Andrew and I, our sister Sacco, talked and looked over an amendment and adoption of addition to our policy and procedures manual. I'd like to make a motion, please, for the police department. I would like to make the motion to accept the new documents and the amendment under confidential, because it's confidential documents, to be added under the policy procedures for the police department.
Effective immediately.
Effective immediately.
Okay, motion by Ken to accept, let me see that, let me read this. Accept the Wkcm Borough Police Department Policy and Procedure Confidential Manual as written. Is there a second?
I will second that.
Michelle, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous?
Okay.
Alright.
Not number 9.
Mr. President, I received the other day a letter from one of our present public works officials that was serving in the capacity as street foreman or supervisor, if you will. Dennis Meckley, and he so stated that he was going to take a retirement from the borough with the understanding that he could work part-time throughout the winter months as needed, and move back to a status of, if you will, a part-time employee.
As opposed to a part-time supervisor.
As opposed to the 39-hour supervisor. This brings about the fact then that, with his announcement, that I suggested to Mr. Calder that job would be coming open, and would he like to move from part-time to full-time employment?
No, it wouldn't be.
Part-time, at 39 hours, part-time employment. And possibly, work as a in the supervisor's position. In light of that, he would move into the pay rate that Mr. Beckley would be leading, and he would then become the part-time supervisor for the Public Works Division.
Alright,
So-
before you go on, this 20 hours, okay, now who's gonna determine this 20 hours? Is that gonna
Well,
be
it-
set
it-
forth by the street department, or as needed, emergency only?
It wouldn't exceed 20 hours.
It wouldn't exceed 20 hours.
And unless we need them. In other words, again, we don't know when they're bringing on.
No, I agree with that, but you see what I mean, I don't want us to say, well, you work 20 hours a week, okay? And then all of a sudden we have the snowstorm and we have to call them in for additional hours.
Well,
I mean, I see this 20 hours on an as-needed basis only. That's my just personal. And, you know,
If I ask, interject something for just a second, I mean, but I think what they're gonna, my suggestion for what they're planning, for resource planning, would be to, the weather, you're gonna know if a storm's coming most of the time, not every time, but majority of the time, you have a fair warning of storms coming. I think they can schedule around that, so he's on duty for
No,
those hours.
that's fine, but
With that
I don't
20
want,
hours.
I don't want someone coming into the borough and piddling around for 20 hours a week. You know, if we have a specific task or a specific job that needs to be done, yeah, let's schedule it, all right? You see what I mean?
Well-
If there's work that needs to be done, yeah, let's bring him in.
I'm looking at sort of saving the excess amount of overtime. And it could be, in years past, in past,
Right, well, yeah, but you see my point.
Well,
You know,
it's being caught.
you know, we have to decide, okay, you're working 20 hours a week, period. You know, come in, we'll find you something to do, or, okay, we have jobs that need to be done.
Okay, well, anyway,
Yes, as needed, but not to exceed 20 hours a week. Well, no, you can't say that either, because if we have a snowstorm and we have to call them in,
I'd just say, if you're needing to call it, that's all.
I think the point is he's gonna work 20 hours a week regardless. We're gonna have to work around, think about how we're gonna schedule him. But, I mean, coming.
yeah, that'll be
coming
your,
December
that'll be
14th,
your
We have to work
determination
it.
as well
We
as
have
the
to work it.
supervisor
Yeah.
determination.
You know.
coming December
All right.
14th, 20 hours.
Okay, in light of that, I'd like to make a motion that we trade off the figures and, move Kobe to 15.50 an hour, exactly what our former supervisor was making.
And that's what he was making?
Yes, sir.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, wait. Motion by Bernie Senior. Second by Ken.
Abstain.
Extension from Michelle. Okay, all in favor?
No.
Aye. Oh,
My question just on the motion, I mean, did
I
you,
don't know what,
we had discussed bringing them back, the dome and everything like that. Part of the agreement of bringing them back was retro on the day he started, or we're going retro back from the day he started, or today?
The day of the retirement, for that rate.
And when did he has turned in an official letter saying on this date, I'm retiring.
He advised me 2 months in a row.
And what is that date?
That was supposed to be the 1st of December.
December 1st.
Mhm.
Okay, so that would be,
You told me 14th.
of December.
Regardless, it's 20 hours.
It has to go by what he turned in on his letter.
Okay,
Which is what? The letter?
no,
now I've got something.
what's his pay rate?
Just go to the,
Excuse me?
What was his pay rate supposed to be?
right here, I just read it.
1550. That's supervisor wages.
Okay, yeah, that's a supervisor, but we're gonna count him back.
$12, you get back to $12.
Well, that has to be included in that. You wanna make a separate motion for that? You wanna include it in this motion?
Well, you can include it.
All right, and then you're gonna have to state that. December 1st, the letter said.
And that's when fixed raise will be effective.
When he leaves the supervisor, whatever day it might, he says the 15th, whatever it is.
We gotta find out.
The card will show.
Okay, that rate will not take an effect until the retirement date, which is anywhere from the December 1st to December 15th, which we have to find out for sure, but as soon as you know, then your contact, and that is the date.
Okay.
Alright, motion on the floor.
Did we already?
Yeah,
Repeated.
Well,
Yeah, make
But-
sure that moves
no.
straight, I gotta figure this one out. What was the motion?
yeah, that,
He's going back to he's going back to, $12.
Oh,
Rick's started $15.50 effective the date of his
$12.
social security. Is that the motion?
okay, so that's what my question is, so that, the motion does include that Denny will be making $12 an hour, so he will no longer be supervisor as of December 1st.
Anybody talking to him?
December first.
And that's going to remain, right?
Probably have to change that next meeting. I mean, I'll make a motion to go.
Okay. Alright, all in favor? Aye, opposed?
Michelle abstains.
Michelle abstains, unanimous except from Michelle.
So, talk about the budget?
Yes.
Okay, I prepared the proposed operating budget for 2014 for the general fund and also the liquid fuels fund. Everything was kept the same except salaries were increased by 3%. And millage remained the same at 8.25 mils. And principal and interest payments for the loan are included in there as given to me by Stephen Russick from F&M Bank. And I'm presenting this for advertisement until the proper time at which next month's meeting we can adopt the final, barring no changes.
I make the motion to advertise the proposed budget.
Motion by Michelle, is there a second?
Second?
Second by Nancy, all in favor? Aye, opposed? Unanimous.
Question.
Okay.
I see that there was a carryover for the fuels. I didn't think we were allowed to carry over the fuels.
There we are.
Oh? Really? Thanks for telling me.
Projected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Part of that liquid fuels carryover, does that have any thoughts on the payment of this, the building, actual building?
I'm sorry?
This $14,000.
What about it?
Any of that for like a truck or
Oh,
you
we-
plan on putting around the building? for
We're not 80%.
Right.
Can't put it on the building.
Yeah, if we're looking for a truck, that's, should be in that direction.
I just,
I might. This time it call for motion for adjournment.
Excuse me, sir. I have good of the order. Is all construction proceeds with any facility. And if you will, the phases of construction of any facility, there has to be, and I feel that there should be, means made within that structure that we also include the cornerstone. And it has to be so designed with the builder that the cornerstone facility is made doing construction, that then it can be inherited into the building itself. And I believe the community, the taxpayers of this community, the citizens of this community, deserve some type of a formal opening in the laying of this cornerstone. And my suggestion would be, when we do that, if we kinda have a cornerstone laying celebration, if you will, and certainly invite every taxpayer in this community to be part of that. Now, whether we set it up and have to close the street, and that would be no problem, but make it inherent that we're gonna celebrate this and invite every taxpayer in this community to be there and to be part of that cornerstone. Now, all cornerstones have a time capsule. And my suggestion would be that anybody that attends that gets to sign that time capsule and have their own handprint, whatever it might be, signature or whatever it might be, inserted. Even we can put their addresses, whatever they want on it, they can put their own picture on it up there. But that would be part of the time capsule to every citizen of this community. This is a big undertaking.
Okay.
When our former building went up, there was no time capsule put in it. And how will we search for it? Now, the people down, and God forbid that, we're not destroyed by some astronaut or something, through time. Whether it's set up to open it in 50 years, and you might be here yet, and you might be here yet,
I hope not.
but our children will be here, and our grandchildren will be here. And when this will be open,
Ken,
now think about it, time capsules on Cornerstone is extremely important to the people that lay beyond us. And I think we owe it to the community to have a celebration of that nature. And, if we gotta give them a hot dog or whatever it might be, or a drink or something, but have a formal groundbreaking, we didn't have a groundbreaking in this.
But can we?
The laying of the cornerstone and the opening of this facility, every citizen.
Okay, that was my next question. Can we not incorporate that into the grand opening celebration?
But right now, we have to design that cornerstone where it's gonna be, because the contractor has to know that. So if there's a facade of concrete going around that, or I don't know what it is, or brick or tile or whatever's going, they have to make that facility in there, that's gonna be placed. And it has to be done now, because we're closing walls very shortly.
Yeah, I can talk to him tomorrow.
Alright.
And, matter of fact, I'd like to make a motion, sir. I think every citizen deserves that, to be part of that, and get their name inside that.
I think that's such a great idea, I'll second that.
Okay, hold on.
And we'll have a group picture that day too.
Well, yeah, why would you do it like 100 years? But 50 years.
Okay, motion on the floor to, and determine and install a cornerstone in a new building with a time capsule with resident information contained inside. Do it at the opening of the new building, the ribbon cutting of the new building. That's the motion on the floor. Bernie Senior made the motion, Ken second.
I have one more question.
Oh,
Courtney, the time capsule, you're talking like, say, a poster card or something like that, everybody signs and roll it up and put it in?
Yeah. And we can seal it in plastic.
You can put it in a piece of 4-inch PVC pipe with 2 end caps glued onto it. That's about your cheapest, and then buried in concrete.
Yeah, that, like he said, or you either slap it into the wall in between the 6x6s, huh?
No, it has to be, no.
if you're gonna preserve it, it should be in plastic.
Oh, yeah, it can be done right. But
Yeah.
All right,
only
okay.
got the facility.
Yeah, we'll determine that and later get the material. So all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous.
Nice.
It is a good.
Okay, at this time, need a motion to pay the bills.
I'm with the proper ones to go on the bill to be paid, sir.
Motion by Bernie Senior, is there a second?
One question on bills. Who is Rod Schick?
The mayor has reserves the right to permit neighboring property owners to mow high grass that's being not kept up. And he's the one who's been mowing the Northern Avenue property. And I saw the property below that bank's been cleared, and they have a for sale sign on it. Looks like they're pursuing a sale of that property, which is good for
When
us.
is our for sheriff's sale, like?
Are you sure it's that one or it's the next one?
It's
maybe that's his one. I don't know. That's,
Is that the one you gave me?
That is?
On Doucette, was the name of the, that's who I thought the name. That's
Dude,
who
they've been doing a lot of work.
But
recently.
I don't believe that sold it. Didn't sell it, so it should be sheriff's sale. We just had a sheriff's sale here at the end of October, the 26th, and my office does the sheriff's sales, and I don't remember that name. so-
None from Wkcm.
No. So, I mean, they continue those all the time though, so.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Oh, you did second it?
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Ken. All in favor to pay the bills? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous? Motion for adjournment?
Hey, I got another item here. And I won't belabor this. Thank you for your indulgence, everybody. But a number of years ago, and I'm going back maybe 6 years, when we started the safety requirements of a municipality. That included street department, that included all employees that under workman's comp, which included the fire department, street department, police department, and any regulators that might be doing work for the board, such as council persons and what have you, elected officials. We started a safety program, and we like to recognize the safety indulgence that our employees did. And I just want you to face this board over here, and you'll say injury-free work days. Now that's just work days. That doesn't include the weekend days. Right now, we went 5 years, 234 days without an accident. Now, I hate to do this without knocking on wood, but we have to recognize the safety that was involved by everybody that's been part of this war, working on behalf of the board. And that's a running inventory that's made daily by our personnel when they report to work.
That
They
has
change
saved
that
us,
very
that
time.
has saved us thousands, that alone has saved the borough thousands of dollars in workers' comp.
You wouldn't believe the difference between 20 years ago and what we're doing right now with these people.
Well, and
We have safety conferences with them once a month. And that could be just keeping your hat square or tying your shoes, whatever it means as far as safety goes. But our people are very conscientious. Now that includes everybody, okay, that's under the workman's comp. And the lady that was working comp remarked a month ago to me, we haven't heard much out of the board in the last few years. And I said, well, you know, God bless them, that we haven't had a problem with that. But,
But do you think we should have
I-
some
I-
kind
I don't
of
wanna-
box or something in the
No.
new building that
they,
would
I'll tell you what,
save the years?
on behalf of the municipality, why, the individual will be awarded with a sweatshirt or something each year, like you did before. But, I wanted to let you know that,
okay, we do
and
these.
I'm sure the citizens are listening to, you know, and they meet these guys day in and day out. But, you know, and there's a lot of hands-on work that our people have to do in behalf of the citizens of this community. You know, and there's not a whole lot of communities throughout the Commonwealth that offer the services that Western County worth. Okay, you've got nowhere else do you get your trash hauled. You pay for your garbage hauling, but you don't pay for get your trash hauled. If we didn't have trash pick up here twice a month, can you imagine what our board would look like? Your neighbor might have 10 tires stacked in his yard, 100 paint cans, who knows what it might be. But we handle that, and that's a given service that's provided by this municipality to the citizens. And
Yeah, we want to take
I,
that
as
for
a
granted.
taxpayer, certainly appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody else does. You know, and our police department works at what they can, with the hours that they're allotted. And we get the good service there too. Likewise, we get good fire service, we get good police protection, and we get we get excellent roads in the streets. Our alleys need worked on, but we try to do what we can for the money that we take in. And, I know there's not a whole lot of grunt, but it comes about, and we hear it occasionally, and we try to address it. Nobody has ever walked into this facility and wants something done, that we don't approach it right away and try to do it, alleviate it, without giving any lip back, that we can't, and we're not gonna do it, or we can't do it. We try to address it and serve our citizens to the best of our ability for the financing of the work. That's just a comment,
Well said.
but I wanted to do that on behalf of that, to let the citizens.
Yeah, we do need to, I think we do need to do something for the employees.
Well, we've done it in the past, but I want to
We
tell you.
need to do it again. I mean, we're
We'll do
saying,
it
like
again.
Michelle said, we say thousands and thousands of dollars.
Thousands of
A few-
dollars.
Yeah, a few $100 isn't gonna hurt us.
Thousands.
What our workman comp bill was 6 years ago compared to what it is today,
It'd be nice to see that hard number on that.
yeah. And if we get, I don't know, I know we have our current stuff, but I don't know what the historical
Alright,
data is.
but it is thousands of dollars.
I have a man right here that worked for the board many, many years. I thought, I saw this man almost die one day on a job. And, and I was looking at them, I went by them, there was 2 people on the job at that time, and they were driving a stake in. Okay. Safety minded also. But on the top of that stake, for a signpost, was a metal object. It's called a driving post. And they were driving out off the top of the bed, and I just happened to catch my mirror. I seen that top come off and it went down and hit him square in the head. And he went down like a bullet. I thought he was dead. I really did. I thought that meant dead. I jumped out and went back to him, and he was working. He had motion. We shipped him to the hospital, and I don't know what kept him alive. But, safety is number one in this area. And if they don't wanna work safety, they don't have to work.
Not here.
I just threw out the suggestion that possibly we could consider, like in our new building, if we could just erect a small plaque, and each year that is active and free, just list the year for safety.
That would be an excellent thing for the secretary to say.
So, just an idea.
Not that down.
Well, it's always posted here. Anybody can buy, just look at
We have
the
this
door.
meeting, so we can't see that. That's a good reminder.
Yeah, we never come
We
in,
never
so
come in here
it would be
unless
good to have a plaque.
That's all
We have
of
many
it.
we
companies.
get it out in where the public can see.
I bet you don't find any companies with a safety.
Well, you talk to the insurance bureau. I don't know how you do it.
I'd like to bring before the council, this is a point of order too, and I apologize for this, I didn't get in earlier. What I'd like to investigate, have council consider looking into, a lot of you see me walk around West Canning, and for a while there, I was trucking around and pretty much hitting almost every street. And one of the things that I noticed was the sheer volume of homes for sale in our community. And I don't know if we can form a committee between council and the residents to maybe formulate some methods to protect our community from, and we were talking earlier about rental units, and sometimes when houses are, at the lower end of the spectrum, they tend to go for rental units, which is not a bad thing, but I don't know that we want every house to be rental. So I'm thinking that it might be a good idea to consider, to have something put together where maybe we have an incentive for first-time home buyers. To encourage people to be home buyers, because home buyers tend to, repair their house and make it more valuable, and that adds value to the community, that adds value to your house, that adds value to my house, that adds value to everyone's home. So I don't know if that's something that we can consider for 2014 as a project to undertake.
Okay, and how would that be handled? How would you,
They would have to meet certain stipulations
but
for
what
the
would you
tax
get, what would you
credit.
give them then? I
Or
mean-
maybe a reduction in the tax rate for 5 years, they have to live in their house, I don't know, we'd have to
Yeah, I
investigate
I just
it.
need, what
But,
direction
like,
we,
some sort of an incentive for first-time home buyers
okay.
that come into our community, because home buyers are going to invest in the home, they're going to build up the home. Not that rental units don't, but people that live in the rental units don't usually invest in the house a lot.
No.
Historically speaking. So I don't know if that's something that
Yeah,
council should
no, yeah, I
maybe,
think it's a good
consider.
idea, just how we approach it.
right, and that's what I'm saying, we need to do some preliminary work. That along with the landlord tenant. So just throwing that out there.
If there's nothing else under old business or new business,
Let's
do
go.
we have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make that motion.
Michelle, second by Ed. All in favor? Aye. Adjourned.
I need to sign